Hey YouTube, it's Jay. I am so excited today. Over the past 3 years, and if you don't count the daily break and runs, over the past 3 years, we've done over 100 videos on all of the theory that you need to know about in order to successfully move through the ranks from D all the way up to A and beyond. We've talked about all that theory, all that background. After 3 years, we are finally ready to start shooting shots. So I can't tell you how important this series is. We're going to show you how to take this or this. Or this. Or if you're an advanced player, this. and turn it into this. So this series, beginning with this video and through the next, it will probably be at least the next 8 months. We are going to tear apart every single shot you should be shooting. Now, I say you should be shooting because there are shots that we will not cover in this part. We'll eventually cover them, and some of them we've already covered. We're not going to cover banks. You should not be shooting banks to get to be an A player. If you shoot banks, you should be doing it for positional purposes, not because it's the right shot to leave. Or you should be doing it because you have no other choice, okay? You should not be shooting combos unless you have to. You should have to be forced into shooting a combo. You should not be shooting caroms unless you have to, okay? These shots are notoriously unreliable. They're different on every table. In the case of a combo, small errors get magnified. Even pros avoid those types of shots. Now, they will shoot banks, and they do it for purposes of getting a leave, or because they have no choice. The ball's here, and the cue ball's there. You should be cutting that down the rail. That's actually a really easy cut shot, and we're going to talk about how to shoot that shot as part of this series on shots. But there's another ball in the way. Well, you have to shoot the bank. So you're forced into the bank. But when you're not being forced into that, you should not be shooting banks, okay? You should always prefer the cut over the bank. Let's talk about, just briefly, let me tell you the shots that we're going to talk about. These are the ones you are going to want to shoot. They're the ones you're going to want to deliberately set up. And what we're going to do with each of these shots is we're going to tear it apart. We're going to talk about how to get to the center of the table reliably. We're going to talk about how to get to the other end of the table reliably. We're going to talk about the routes that you use and how to shoot those routes on each of those shots. And I'm going to tell you right now, after you see the first video, which is on shot number 1, ball hanging in the corner, after you see that video and you see an hour or a half hour or an hour of information about how you can shoot this shot and how you can control the cue ball from this shot to various parts of the table. When you see that we take that shot and turn it into an hour-long video, I really think it's going to be an hour. It might be shorter than that, but I really think it's going to be an hour video. And you see how much depth we go into on that shot, you're going to understand why we focus on the shots that we can control, and why we focus on, or you're going to understand why pool has such a wide range of things that you can do and what can happen. And we're going to show you which ones you should shoot. We're going to show you which shots are available if you have no other choice. And we're going to show, I say we, it's me. We're going to go over everything there is to know about this shot. And then you're going to go away and practice all that stuff and do it for yourself, right? And then we're going to come back and we're going to do shot number 2. And shot number 2 is going to be a ball out in the middle, okay? I'm getting ready to tell you all of these shots. And you're going to look at them and you're going to go, but those are all the easy shots. Well, yeah, there's a reason why we do that. We want to shoot nothing but easy shots. I want every shot I shoot to be on off center. I don't want to be straight in. And I want to be about a foot from the ball. That's where I want to be on every single shot. And what we're going to do in this series is we're going to take every one of the major shots in pool and we're going to show you how to get there. Okay? It's going to be great and you're going to love it. And by the way, if you don't love it, by all means tell me. I'm happy to go back and re-explain or to cover something else. There are a lot of really technical things that you should know if you're above an A. If you're not an A yet, you don't need those things. Okay? What you need is, okay, I've got this shot. How do I get here? How do I get there? How do I get up near the rail for a shot at the end rail? How do I reliably get to the center of the table? How do I get there for a shot here? Those are the things you need to know and to focus on, right? So we're going to talk about the shots, and we're going to talk about all those things. How do I get from this shot on the table, how do I get on that reliably? How do I get on that reliably? How do I get on this reliably? How do I get on that reliably? And how do I do it in a way where I'm not having to shoot the length of the table? Okay? How do I get on this shot here where I can reach it? How do I get on that shot over close to the rail so that I have the angle for the next shot? Those are the things we're going to talk about. We're going to take everything we've learned over the last 3 years. We're going to put it together. We're going to tie it to the shots on the table. So what are the shots? Well, shot number 1, hanging in the jaws. Let me just get these balls down here so we can use them. Shot number 2, hanging in the jaws of the side pocket. Shot number 3, center of the table. Shot number 4, frozen to the rail. Shot number 5, off the rail, but thin. Shot number 6, narrow on the end rail. Shot number 7, the cut in the side pocket. Shot number 8, length of the table. Shot number 9, frozen to the end rail. There they are. Those are the shots you need. If you can consistently make all of these shots, and you know how to get from one to another, you have got every shot, every essential shot in the game of pool. There they are. That's all of them. So you may be asking yourself, okay, especially some of the advanced players, you may be asking yourself, Jay, how can you say there are only 9 shots in the game of pool? There are infinite number of shots in the game of pool. Well, there are infinite variations of shots, but each of these shots has its own characteristics, and each of them have their own special things that you can do with them in certain circumstances. If I have this shot on the 6, I have a different way that it plays from if it's there. So if it's here, it plays one way. If it's there, it plays entirely different. Okay? And the reason is because of the distance to the rail. Okay? Because the rail effects on the cue ball are different if it's less than three balls out from what they are if it's more than 3 balls out, even if you have the same exact angle. Okay, so each of these shots has a different set of characteristics. They all have their own gotchas, and especially this one. This one has a million gotchas. This one is the biggest. I would say that this shot contributes to the most lost games of any shot on the table. And if you know how to play this shot correctly for what where you're trying to get, this shot can set you up for a winning out. Okay, so we're going to cover all of that stuff. That's why I say these are the 9 shots. These 9 shots, each has its own individual characteristics that are different from the other ones in the series. Okay, that's why I say there are only 9 shots. It's not because I'm saying that every ball is going to be in exactly this position. It's because the variations of these shots are different from each other. And if you understand these 9 shots inside and out, you're playing better than 90% of the other players out there. Okay? You get these 9 shots down, you master these 9 shots, and their minor variations that happen within the shot, you're there. You're going to be an A player. Then it's all down to consistency, right? When I'm going through these shots, I'm going to explain this is what you can do. I'm also going to explain this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And we're going to take it to the extremes. And every time you find yourself in a position where you have a shot you shouldn't do, what you should do is play safe. So we have to cover all of the safeties. We're going to cover every type of safety, every major type. There are always creative things that can be done. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do, the goal of this channel, is to simplify the game of pool so that you can do it just as well as I can. You can do it just as well. You have the knowledge to play the game and be competitive with anybody and make it so that the only difference between you and SVB is consistency. That's where we're trying to get, and we're going to get there. And to do that, we're going to talk about these shots. So this has been just an introduction. You should subscribe now because the upcoming videos are incredibly important. Okay? Now, I have said repeatedly, pool is not about shot making. Okay? Pool is about the mental game of pool is 100 times more important than shot making. We've all seen the drunk guy in the bar who runs out the table by accident. The difference in the game should not be knowledge. It should be consistency. It should be the choices that you make. And I'm going to show you how to make those choices. And I'm going to show you how to keep from having to be perfect on every shot and instead be able to play the shots in a way that will allow you to make those easy runs. And then it's all up to you. This is it. This is what we've been building up to for 3 years, and we're getting ready to go down this road. So hold on. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, ding the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next one where we take on the easiest and most treacherous shot in the game of pool.